there to disprove the theory, right? Which is actually good when people do that, because when it does get to the point where people can't disprove it, people accept it as this is now fact. When you deal with these people and they look at you for that information, like, whoa, and you know they're talking to their cohorts, and that's a small group. There's a lot of, PhD, people who go get PhDs, they're all very smart, but then on that level, there's that group up here that are doing all the theoretical stuff. They're looking for, like, what is the realm of the possible in my field of expertise? And they're not solving these problems, people like that.
And very few that actually have the data and the knowledge that they need to have in order to tackle the problem, which is Bob Lazar's number one gripe of what he was exposed to, is he said, I'm not the smartest person. I'm not even on the list of 100 people you should choose to do what they asked me to do. It confuses him to this day why they wouldn't have the smartest, most capable, and brightest minds. And the reason is that the people that should be working on this, in my opinion, and also Bob Lazar's opinion, and I think George's, have not been given honest access to the data and information that we do have. In fact, I'm going to say something right now. The data and information that George Knapp and I have both ourselves physically seen, and I'm going to go a step further and say this. I'm going to ask you this, George. This is my question to you, very specifically. George, do you have a technical report on the Tic Tac UFO generated by an intelligence agency that is not classified? And if you do, why can't you give that to Commander David Fravor? Why can't you give that to Congress to put on the record for the American public? If that were to be true, George, and I'm not making an accusation, I'm asking you, is that true? And if you tried and couldn't put it on congressional record and you can't give it to Commander David Fravor, can you please explain to me and everybody else why?
Well, we did make public the first report that Dave has been referring to, made that public in 2018. That was just the start. There was a later analysis, 140 some pages, that was done for OSAP. I have seen that report. I'm not saying I've got it, but I've seen it. It is not classified. It's highly detailed about the capabilities of that craft based on sensor data, witness statements, a whole range of sources of information. And yeah, it would be great. It should be public, but it's not mine to release. Information gets shared with you under conditions sometime, and you either have to follow those conditions or burn a source, and once you burn them, you'll never get information again. So
the reason why you have not been able to give that to Congress for public record, or you can't just take it and hand it, it's not because it's classified. I'm not saying you have it, but you've seen it and you might have access to it or know how someone could get it, but it's not in the public. The public is being disallowed from seeing it, and the reason why you are not in a position to change that is because you gave your word to a motherfucking source, and so you're not